Oh, she's looking nice now. We got her all painted up. I wasn't about to take my camera anywhere near that sandblasting booth. The paint I used is a Rust-Oleum hammered finish, and it's I saw it on a forum or a thing where a guy was building carts regularly, and it kind of dries to this matte finish, and looks really good. So now we have that. Now we can pretty much start putting this thing together. But first, while we still got the motor out, I've gone ahead, of course, and put a fresh oil filter on it. And I always go with the Suzuki brand. I don't take any chances with a cheap oil filter. And then we're going to start taking this cover off here to get at our clutch. And as the clutch is an unknown at this point, obviously the bike wasn't riding, and I have no idea what it is. So for the price of a carbon fiber clutch, it was worth the investment. So I got the kit. It has the discs and the steels and some new heavier springs. So let me get the rest of these bolts off and get this cover off, and we'll see what we're doing here. Tap this puppy, give her a couple of whacks, and there she goes. They're pretty fortunate this is coming off real nice and easy. Of course, you want to keep a pan underneath because you're going to drip oil. And never count on reusing the cover gasket. Never happens. So, and I'm not seeing a lot of residue in the case here. That's a good sign. We're going to undo these 4 bolts and disassemble our clutch and keep track of where everything is. And I'll take you over here to show you what you got to do ahead of time. So what we got here is a Barnett Performance Products clutch, and I think I may have given maybe $100 and some change for it. It wasn't terribly expensive, and you can see it's a complete carbon fiber clutch kit, and comes with the discs. As you can see, I've got them soaking in some oil, and they suggest you soak them in the motor oil for about at least 15 minutes before you put them in. These have been in there a little longer than that. And I'm using the Suzuki motor oil, it's a 10W40 that Suzuki recommends. Ridiculously overpriced, of course, but you know, hey. Then come with a Go Fast sticker. Got a bunch of those, all the different parts I've been buying here. And it comes with a new set of clutch springs and a new set of steels. So it's be a brand new clutch going back in here. So let's get back to the bike here, or the motor, and get going with that clutch. So what we'll have to do here is, in a crisscross pattern, we'll pop these bolts loose. And just kind of walk them out nice and easy in a crisscross pattern. Remember, this is spring loaded, so. Now, supposedly these springs that come with this clutch kit are a little bit stronger than the factory ones, so they'll hold better. which should be good. You would think that, you know, it'd be different with this go-kart, but I haven't actually weighed it, but I can pick this go-kart frame up. I couldn't pick that frame up on that bike with the tires on it and everything. So, if anything, it got to be real close in weight. So, what you do is you just kind of lower this puppy right on out of here. Check the surface of that, make sure that's good. Now you want to be careful because you got a little Torrington bearing in here and a washer. A Torrington bearing is like a little flat roller bearing like that, and then its race is made onto the back with and it goes on the, acts as a bearing surface, since this is made out of aluminum. So we're going to put this back just so we make sure everything goes just the way it should. And we'll set this over here. I guess that's like a little wavy spring there. Goes in behind that steel. And that's it for the clutch basket back there. Or wait a minute, one more back. No, it can't be. Yeah, there is. There's one more back in there, but I'm going to have to dig that one out with a pick. So, stand by. And I got my trusty pick. Dig this last clutch disc out of here. There we go. Interesting. Yeah, there. That's the different one right there. It's all the way in the back. Alright, once you get all your old gasket off of there, if you're lucky it'll come off pretty cleanly. I was fairly lucky, mine just stuck in a couple of places, but we're good now. And what we'll do, we'll take and put our new cover gasket here on, and as I said, always use a new gasket because you'll never get away with reusing an old one. Just that simple. No point in even trying, because then you're going to have an oil leak, then you're going to be mad because you took a chance and you lost. So there we go. And the flat part goes up to the top. I'm going to go ahead and dab all of this out of here. So we got it all nice and tidy dry here. So now that's all ready to go back on. We'll do our oddball sized clutch plate that goes in there, and that's just big enough to where it goes around that little spring washer. And then from there we alternate our steels and our frictions. All the rest of the frictions are the same, so we don't have to worry about that. There's only one oddball in this one. And we'll open up our new clutch springs here. Oh yeah, these feel a lot stiffer. Well, yeah, a lot, but they're a good bit stiffer than the ones I pulled out of there. So, good thing I used a real heavy clutch cable. I reckon that clutch ought to grip really good. Oh yeah, and they're a little bit longer too, because the other one you can take the screw out and you know, you didn't have any spring tension on it, but these you do. So I'm guessing maybe they're a little tiny bit longer. I don't know. Either that or the other ones are collapsed a bit. But I don't know. I don't think this bike's had anything done to it. These don't need a ton of torque. So you just snug them up real good like that. And that's all she needs. Flat side goes here. You want to line these dowel pins up. Pop it on like so. And put these bolts back in where they come out of. Alright. I will clean her up. Now the motor's ready to go back in the cart. Okay, now we've got our clutch done. Got our cover back on. Now it's time we're going to go ahead and set the motor back down in the cart. So I'm going to move the camera off, get a good wide angle shot, and you can see how we drop this thing back in. Now we get our bolt. We'll start with this back bolt here. And just a smidge down. And there she goes. And these little guys up front are just rubber bushings. Now she's in. Now to tighten everything up. Alright, so now that we got the motor in, the next thing I have to do is put the cooler lines in, oil lines for the oil cooler. This is something I'm kind of proud of because the original oil lines had these banjo fittings on them, and they had a short piece of stiff line that went up to the oil cooler on the front of the bike. And my buddy up at EHS up here, who does all kinds of hydraulic and heavy equipment work, was able to take these banjo fittings and braze these this bendable hydraulic line in there. So now, once I bent the line to fit in the cart, then he brazed the ends on, and there we go. Because otherwise, God knows where I would have found an adapter or a anything like that, because this being it's like what they call a 16mm banjo, and then the banjo bolt is a weird thread, and nobody has the fittings for it, so it's just a good thing that we were able to use this and use the original banjo fittings. Now we have our oil cooler lines mounted in. They come around the back. They'll be trimmed off and bent or whatever to do what we need them to do back here. And then you can see how they mount right there in the front through those banjo bolts. Now we'll put our exhaust header back in, but first I got to dig the old header gaskets out and put the new ones in. These are my new header gaskets here. Set those down over here. And we'll extract these old ones first. There's one. Now we'll put our new header gaskets in each exhaust port here. Now what you want to do, they fit in there kind of snug, so you want to just kind of ease them on in there. And you've got a socket maybe, or something that'll push it in there to give you any trouble, but these are going in pretty nice. A little bit of oil on them from where it was leaking before. Get one or two of these bolts started here. Hold the header in. And the trick is you'll want to draw these all up nice and even. You don't want to have to fight it. That will never end well. It will always win. Now you're dealing with a stainless steel header in an aluminum head. Those two metals are going to expand and contract at different rates. So that's why they don't ever tighten the crap out of these things, because you have to allow for expansion. There we go. Our exhaust header is in.